Bonjour mes amis, tout le monde, je m'appelle Jean.
Oui, et je m'appelle Pierre-Luc et aujourd'hui, dans notre podcast français, nous allons parler. Wait, is that supposed to be French, John?
No. I think we've got it confused here. Welcome
Oh.
everybody to the very first episode of Stadium Connect North. I'm John, and this is my co-host here, Pierre.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how's everyone doing? We want to give a shout out to everybody here. We've already have a lot of people in the chat here just showing their support early on. Thank you so much, everybody. We see Mark's Rallies here, Ex Predator, Aswee's here as well. Some guy named NinjaGuy X is in the chat. I don't know who that is, right? Elemental Leech, Zarena, Impro Joe Gaming, and Ian's here as well. Wow, Crow, Metal Wolf, Mr. 1030. Wow, lots and lots of people. Lloyd, thank you so much, everybody. And, Pierre and I have been talking about putting together a show for quite some time. Over the past several months, and we've been, mulling it over back and forth on kind of what we want it to do, and we came up with Stadium Connect North. As we all know, as part of the Stadia community, Stadia Connect was something that we always look forward to for exciting news and advancements and what's coming to Stadia and stuff like that. And it's been a while since they've had that. So we thought, you know what? We'll give it a little bit of a Canadian flair here, and we came up with the name Stadium Connect North. So our show here is all about, as you can guess, it Stadia, and the positivity around the platform, the community, the features, and it's again, just all about being positive and looking at things and highlighting people in the community, around the world, because it's Stadia is not just something that's in North America, Canada, United States, or even like the UK. It's all over the world. So, Pierre and I said, you know what? Let's put the show together. And here we are on our very, very first episode. And, we're happy to be here. So
Yep.
it's just
Bear with us,
fantastic.
guys. Yeah, bear with
Yeah.
us. It's our first show. So we're getting things. We got a big list of stuff we need to talk about. It's probably going to be longer than usual.
Yep.
And it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be
Yeah,
really
yeah, it's
fun.
a fun time. So basically, we want to mention first and foremost here a big, again, thank you to everybody in the chat for showing your support. As Pierre said, we're gonna have some growing pains here, so there'll be some things you'll see the show evolve and change a little bit, make adjustments over time here. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about here, and we want to mention too. Put a tweet out. Let's see if I can bring it up here. Let's see here. Put the tweet out about a week or so ago. And let me see. We can kind of just make it a little bit bigger here. Is which Stadia game would you love to play and why, but can't afford or justify the cost? What would you do with a free Stadia controller and Chromecast with Google TV to help spread Stadia? So we put that Stadia out, that tweet out there, before we really announced the show. And the reason is because we are on our first show here, and this is actually going to be a monthly giveaway. Uh, Thanks to the Stadia community, and these first few are funded by Jack DeSlip here. He's helped along with that to help kick off the show here. So shout out to Jack, and also shout out to the Stadia community too for pouring your support into here. So on today's show, our very first show here, we're going to give away two games. One game to each person. So there's going to be two people that are going to win a game, and then one person is going to win the Chromecast with Google TV and a Stadia controller. So stay tuned for that. And, it's going to be a fantastic, fantastic time. So we're going to get right into things here. And let's actually turn this off here. And Kitty wants in, I think, right?
Oh, you guys are hearing that. Oops.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, no worries, no
Yeah.
worries at all. So we thought, Pierre and I thought, on this very first episode that we'd introduce ourselves. Not everybody knows who we are, and we just thought, that would be a great way to get to know us as we get to know you as well. So I think we'll start off with, I've been doing some talking here. Pierre, let's learn a little bit about you, and I'll
All
let you
right.
take it from here.
Perfect. So yeah, hey guys, let me introduce myself. My full name is Benoit Pierre-Luc Allard, but my friends call me Plot. And whenever an English person asks me how they should call me, I tell them just call me Pierre. And yeah, so I'm 32 years old. My main job is a software developer where I develop third-party application for accounting software. And other than that, I've left Stadia. I've discovered Stadia maybe only in November 2020 or something like that. And the reason why I got in is because I started playing. I wasn't really in actually, so I was playing it, but for some reason it wasn't working well on my phone and on my PC. But this one time I saw a cheap Stadia controller and Chromecast like online, and I was like, oh, might as well just go for it and try it out just for fun. And when I tried it on my TV, I was blown away. I couldn't even see that it was a console. I couldn't see that it was in the cloud. So that's how I got really into it. I bought my first games that I bought was Enter the Gungeon, and I bought Tom Clancy's Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I think. But yeah, so after that, it was all history. I started content creating when Pixel Junk Raiders came out, which was pretty cool. I met John. John is telling me that he met me on the Q Games Discord. So on the server where Pixel Junk Raider is, looks like I think we might have talked a little bit, but for some reason I don't remember at all. So, but the first time I remember John is on the Summer Community Championship where he was participating in the Pixel Junk Raiders competition actually. So that's where I saw it. And I was like, oh man, such a cool, nice guy. Like he's very patient with his game. And I was like, that's really cool. That's very cool. I don't even think I ever told you that. So,
Yeah,
but
no.
but yeah, so this is how I got into Stadia, and the rest is history. Also,
Oh.
just before I give you the plays, John, I just want to let you guys know that today John is going to speak a lot more than me, and that's normal because the way that we decided to do the show is this week John is going to be like the main host, and next week I'm going to be the main host and doing all the talking. So if you see that I don't interrupt John a lot or stuff, it's just because he's the main host for today. So I'll take it away, John.
Okay,
Yeah.
alrighty. So my name is John. So, know me as Four Scars Gaming, and I've been into gaming. Wow, ever since I'm 44 years old, so I've been into gaming since the early 80s, and I can remember going over to friends' houses and even aunts and uncles, and they had the Atari 2600 or in television or Coleco. Now I never owned those when I was that young, but I just remember going over there and playing the games, Pac-Man, E.T., Mousetrap, things like that. And it really wasn't until maybe about the mid 80s, maybe about 86 or so, that my dad bought me my first computer. It was a Commodore 64. And ever since then, it's just my love of gaming has just like blossomed. From the Commodore, we do sleepovers every weekend at friends, playing games, staying up all night, getting in trouble. I can remember, my friends would live in, their rooms were downstairs in the basement, right? So we figured, the mom would come down and say, okay, it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. It's time for bed. And so we'd fake go to sleep. And then, we'd wait maybe about 20 minutes and then come back, and we wouldn't turn the lights on because we found out that they would their parents would go to the top of the stairs and look to see if the lights were on. So what we would do is we would cover the monitor. This is horrible to do, right? Cover the monitor with a blanket, and we would like glue our faces to like this close to it, right? We're
Oh my
playing games
gosh.
all night and things like that. And it was just, ever since then. And then we got, Nintendo, Genesis, all even like some of the obscure stuff like 3DO, Neo Geo, and then Saturn, PlayStation, pretty much I've owned and played the majority of the consoles and things like that out there. So I have a real love and passion for games. We go long before the internet. It would be every week going to the convenience store, getting the latest magazines. The Game Pros, the EGMs, the Next Gens, the Nintendo Power, and just like spending hours and hours and hours reading over them and be like, look at this game, it looks so awesome. And just, we'd even like, because back then, when you're young, you really don't get a lot of allowance, or at least we didn't then. I can remember I got $2 a week for my allowance. So obviously I couldn't buy games with that. It would take a really long time. If games were at that time even 50, 60, even some more. So it would take a really long time to be able to do that. So what we did is we got like paper route jobs, deliver the penny saver or the newspaper or catalogs, anything what we could do extra jobs around the house to scrape up and get that extra cash, to buy games or to even rent games. You could go to the convenience store or the video store, or even the game stores, and rent games for the weekend, and you'd spend like $2 or $3 or $5, whatever it was, and just play out to your heart's content. We'd have many little tournaments and championships and all these fun, silly things long before there was online play. And just through the years, my love has blossomed for it. And of course, with the advent of the internet becoming more public, is just now there's a lot more people, there's more information out there. And so I'm still that same little boy who loves games and who just froths at the mouth for knowledge and drools over the games as well. And it's so awesome. And over I'm also the game editor at the Best Buy Canada blog here, and that came about. I started as actually a volunteer on the blog maybe about 6 years ago, and then over the last 3 years, the time it just goes by so fast. It's hard to keep track of it. 3 or 4 years, I become the gaming editor there. So I've got contacts within the industry and things like that. And again, that's just a natural evolution of my love for gaming. I also have a daytime job where I do IT support for a local firm. So juggling between the two there, and and just game whenever we can, and have a wonderful family. My wife, who fully supports me. I've got two kids as well. They're both older now, so sometimes people do have their kids later in life. Well, we had ours earlier in life. So my daughter is actually 23 years old now, and my son is 17. So we're at that point in our lives where we can kind of sit back and relax a little bit and enjoy some of the hobbies and things that we didn't get to do in our 20s and 30s, but now in our 40s that we can do. So it's really great, and I love that support from my family. So I first got interested or noticed really Stadia back. It's just maybe a month or two before GDC 2019. When I heard rumblings of, at that time there were rumors. There was the beta test that they had earlier, or actually late 2018, I believe it was, with Assassin's Creed. I didn't get in on that, but about a month or two before GDC 2019. I was starting to figure out and hear more people talk about Google. At that time, it was going to be there was going to be a home console and a streaming service, or it's going to be a hybrid or whatever. So it's like, you know what? Let's see what this is. And I watched GDC, and it was just awesome. I was blown away by the technology and the fact that you can play games with just a controller and your TV and not ever have to worry about a box under your TV set or in your entertainment center. So I became more and more interested about that, and then I was a founder, so got it on day one. As soon as pre-orders opened in June of that year, got in on the pre-order. Got in on the extra controller. Initially, Wasabi controller wasn't available here in Canada, but they changed their mind, or they got the licensing, or whatever happened, and the Wasabi controller was available. So I was like, I got to pre-order that. So we got that. So I started with, on day one there. The little I had to I actually had to wait a day. I did get it on November the 19th, but they once you got your controller and the Chromecast Ultra, you kind of like registered it and you would check in, and then they would send you a code for to activate it. Well, there was a delay and things like that, and I didn't get mine till the next day, to the 20th. So November 20th was my first day really with Stadia playing games, and Guilt was the first game that I played on Stadia and absolutely love it. And to this day, it's still one of my favorite games. I had such an awesome time with it. And again, like for the first couple of weeks, I was just like, wow, this is so awesome. Like, I can't believe that I'm just playing this game here. I don't have a console or anything else underneath the TV. And then after that, it just became normal for me. It's like, you know what? Like, this is the way to play games. And, I don't have to worry about the storage, the updates, and all that other stuff. And since then, it's just been I've had a real fascination for Stadia, the technology, and even though I do game on all the other platforms, really, I like Stadia, Google's technology with Stadia, and it's my preferred platform. And so here's where we get to the story of how I met NinjaGuy X, or Pierre. Um, so the Q Games Pixel Junk Raiders, I joined their Discord, and I remember they were having a contest about winning like exclusive shirts, and they only had like 4 or 5 shirts. And one of the ways to enter was like to join the Discord and be active on the Discord and things like that. And I was like, okay, I really really want the shirt, because as we know, Stadium merchandise is like hard to come by.
Yeah, it's a cool shirt
you know,
too.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it was like, I'm like, I really, really want this. So went onto the Discord, and I remember seeing Pierre talking there once in a while. And I think I maybe just exchanged a few words with you here and there, nothing too significant. And then you won the shirt as well,
Well,
and I was just like,
I didn't really win it.
oh,
I
okay.
I talked to them about getting some game sign, and
Hmm.
when they gave back the
Oh.
games, they gave me a shirt because they knew I was such a big fan, right?
Oh,
So,
well, there you go.
yeah,
See?
yeah,
So
yeah.
so and then from there, with the next time was Stadia Community Championship. And yeah, from there we've just been friends ever since, and talking, and it's like, oh, well, you're in Canada too. And he's like, yeah. And comes to find out, you're only like 12 or 13 hours north of Toronto, where I'm at. So it's pretty cool. And it's nice that in this community, that we found like a lot of new friends from various different parts of the world. I actually got into content creation earlier this year. Good friend Adam Ruffle, as well, some may know in the chat. He had a YouTube channel for a while, but he really didn't do like a whole lot with it. Like sometimes he would do like first look 30-minute videos and things like that. And I've had a YouTube channel, but again, I really didn't do anything with it. And he was kind of like, no, you should get into streaming and stuff like that. I was like, I'm not 100% sure, but sure enough, he talked me into it, and I'm so glad that he did, because it is so fun to be able to connect with your audience that way, play and enjoy games, and just seeing like the things in the chat, people talking back and forth and conversing, and even those people as part of the community making new friendships as well. And it's just so awesome. So ever since then, I love to be able to stream and share Stadia games and things like that, playthroughs. And we've had charity events and all that type of fun stuff, community play days, and it's just really so awesome. And it's
You
something
keep
that
yourself
I
busy,
look
that's for
forward
sure.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's no
Yeah.
downtime. There's always something going on here.
Hmm.
So I think that's that's a little bit about me here. And yeah, so like I said, Pierre and I thought that for this first show here, we'd just share a little bit about ourselves here, and let you know who we are. The people behind Four Scars Gaming and NinjaGuy X that you see on Twitter and YouTube and Discord as well. So that's a I think a good way for us to connect with you here, the viewers. And again, we really do appreciate all the support everyone's showing, uh, both us collectively and individually as well. Like it's so awesome. And I just the community amazes me every time about how we come together. And sure, there are certain times where people don't agree, but for the most part, it's we get along and just share our love and passion for the platform.
I'm going to say that this week was a very pleasant week because there
Hmm.
hasn't been a lot of of people going against other people this week, and it was really relaxing. It was
Hmm.
nice just to see everybody around, like gathering out together and just talk
Yeah.
about fun stuff about Stadia. So that was
Yeah,
really fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's totally awesome. So I think so. Next here, what we plan on doing, and again, bear with us. This is the first show here, so once we get into doing these consecutively, the rhythm of it, things will come much more naturally. But now we're going to go ahead and talk about some news, some Stadia news here. So I'm going to go over here and let's get this shared here. Perfect. So we're going to take a look at that, and let's make it a little bit bigger here if we can. Oh, it might not since it's the Stadia store.
Okay,
Okay.
I see it. It's good to on my eye. I think it's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So we got November 1st. We got some brand new Stadia Pro games here. And I think
Yeah.
now we're close to 40. I think it's 39 games that you can claim at this present time on Stadia Pro. So if you were just coming in today, brand new, and you sign up for 1 month, it's $10 US, and I think in Canada it's like $12 or something like that. You have like almost 40 games that you can play right away. And so this is pretty awesome here. So
I
what we
think it's
got.
the biggest month, that we have.
Mhm.
We never had a month with so many games available,
Yeah,
so that's very
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Yep.
It's which is totally awesome. So this month we got Saints Row the Fourth Reelected.
Which is a new
Um,
game at the
yeah,
same
yeah, it
time.
was it was awesome. So it was pretty fun. I don't know. Have you had a chance to play that yet?
I did not. I played it on PlayStation 3 a long time ago. I loved it.
Hmm.
But right now I'm focusing on Doom, so I didn't get a chance to play it yet. How about you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I was able to. I streamed it and then I played it a little bit more, and it's it's that Saints Row wacky crudeness, the
Craziness.
crude humor and crazy. It's funny at times. Sometimes it makes you roll your eyes, but it's just like good old fashioned fun where you really don't have to think too hard. You just go in there and like have fun. A great way to unwind and relax and laugh,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. I really do like that, and it's awesome. Even if you don't get it on Stadia Pro, I think it's super cheap as well. I think it was like $16 Canadian on the store. So even if you don't have Stadia Pro, it's great. Like it's a great price where it's just in that price range of like an impulse buy,
Yeah.
right? It's like even if you're not sure, it's
Mhm.
it'd be a game that you could pick up.
Mark Silly says that it shows four now reelected because yeah, from what I remember in the announcement they said it was just Saints Row 4. So now we know that it's reelected. It's the one with the
Yep.
DLCs, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
that's very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. So another Hello Engineer came out of early access there, and it's now first on Stadia title. So I've played that as well. Hello Engineer is it's kind of like I don't know what if I can explain it. So have you played it, Pierre, as well?
I haven't, but
Okay.
if I would take a guess, would it be something like Bridge Constructor where you have to like build your bike and
Yeah, yeah,
make it
yeah.
traverse at
Yeah,
places?
it's very similar to that. There's different scenarios where you've got to make it out of this park here, and there's obstacles, and you've got to build and construct the bike. And I found it works pretty well with the controller for in early access. I haven't played it since that it's came out of early access. It works pretty well. There were a few times where I had a little bit of trouble lining up the parts and things like that, but overall it's a pretty fun game. Our next game that we have here that was added was 100 Days Wine Making Simulator. So this game is basically there's a story mode in this, which I played, and actually it's up on my YouTube channel. I've got it split up into several parts, and it's you're basically following the story of a young woman who has left a vineyard, and she knows nothing about it at all, and you've kind of it's like a rags to riches type of story. It's pretty interesting if you like the type of games, like the simulation type of games. I highly recommend it. And it being on Stadia Pro, if you have a Stadia Pro subscription, I mean, all you have to do is
It's free.
click to play, right? Yeah, it's free. Like it doesn't cost you anything more, and it's a pretty cool game. It's not for everybody, and this one requires a little more thinking, especially after you get out of the story mode itself. Being able to get the types of wines and by using the grapes and the different technique, and you've got to keep your equipment clean and you can
Hmm.
upgrade it and things like that. So if you're into that simulation type and you love basically like running a business, I recommend 100 Days. At first, I wasn't too sure about it, but I had a pretty good time with it, and it's fun. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So we've also then have a
Oh,
great
I think you passed it.
fun game. Did I pass it
Yeah.
here? There it is. Kimono Heroes here. So this is a fun game. I believe it's up to 4 players local multiplayer. And it's like a side scrolling uh, retro uh, platforming type game. Have you had a chance to play this game?
Man, I haven't had a
No.
chance to try any pro games yet, unfortunately.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that one is going to be the first one that I try because I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of games like Ninja Gaiden, Kaze and the Wild
Hmm.
Mass. You know me, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so this is something that I really want to try very
Yeah.
soon. It's probably going to be the next thing I try after Doom.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's not terribly too long. Um, I can't remember exactly how long it took to beat. So again, it's nothing that you have to terribly think too hard of. It's great to play with others. It's more of that, like, the definitely a lot more fun with friends playing it. There's no online. You can use the quote unquote Stadia couch method to play that you came up with there. But it's just a fun family type game as well, playing with other friends there. And again, great. It's on Stadia Pro, so you know what? Why not give it a try and see what it's all about?
yep, for
Yeah,
free.
yeah,
I'm
for
saying free, but
free.
the pro subscription, you gotta buy that. But then you claim the
Yeah,
game, and even if you leave Stadia Pro and you come back, you still have the game. So even if it leaves
yeah.
the store, you're still
Mhm.
good to go.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. So next, we're going to take a look at. There's been some new games that came out on Stadia as well,
Yeah.
and so let's take a look here. We're going to go to the store. So, well, first we'll go ahead and we're going to talk about. We'll come back to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. There, we'll take a look at some new releases. Just Dance 2022. I had a little conversation with Maurice earlier today. Maurice is super excited about Just Dance 2022. I'm looking forward to a stream from Maurice. So who knows? I'm trying to convince him to stream Just Dance 2022. So maybe we'll be lucky enough in the coming weeks that we'll see a a stream from Maurice. But it's just more fun. Pierre, of
Yep.
course, if you don't know, uh, Maurice's Pierre NinjaGuy X's alter ego there, and he streamed. It was Just Dance 2020. Is that what you
Yep,
streamed?
yep. Maurice
Yeah,
is
yeah.
is very late. He's still working on Just Dance 2020. He needs 4 more sessions, I think, and then he's gonna jump on
Four more
2021. So
sessions.
yeah,
Yeah, I believe that was part of your celebrating getting over 100 subscribers
yeah,
stream, wasn't it?
yeah. I
Yeah.
was actually I when you did the caring from the cloud, I'm sure you remember. I
Hmm.
asked you if I could do Just Dance 2020 for caring for the cloud, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
switched it to my 100 sub, and it went very well. People really liked it. It was really
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Yep. And so we could take a look here. Saints Row, PJ Mask, Heroes of the Night from our good friends at Outright Games. I streamed that as part of Caring from the Clouds. A
Hmm.
fantastic game for younger kids. Disney Junior cartoon animated series and things like that. And it's just great if you have, like the 3 to probably 8-year old. Um, Great to play along with them, and it's just a really fun game. Riders Republic, awesome game. I'm really enjoying Riders Republic with all the different. You could do what the wingsuit, your bike, the snowmobile, like all these different events, and it's totally surprised me at how much I'm enjoying this game.
Lots of people are playing this one actually in the community. You can
Oh,
see like in my feed, like I see a lot of people playing it. So it has a lot of I'm a good reception on it for sure.
yeah, 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 definitely. All right, so you need to help me out here
Okay.
with the pronunciation of this. We've got Dragon Ball Z and
Kakarot.
There we go, the Kakarot. I say
Yeah.
Kakarot. I don't know why. It's not a double O, but
Yeah.
Kakarot. So that's
Kakarot.
the deluxe edition there. And that
Mhm.
was brought over by Bandai Namco as
Yeah.
well.
Speaking of
I,
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, well, not Kakarot, but Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2.
mhm,
There's some cool
yes.
news about this one. We got some DLC, a
Yep.
new DLC, and I'm not sure. I haven't read too much about it, but John, yeah, if you don't mind going on it. So
Yeah, let's see. So it is the Ultra Pack 2.
okay,
Right. Yeah. So it's the Ultra Pack 2. Again, these are Canadian prices. So if you're watching in a different country and you think, wow, I mean, this really doesn't seem like a lot more. These are Canadian prices here. So, yeah. So it tells here, look,
oh,
you could
you
play
might
as,
not have to get the right DLC because there it says release date April 20th, April 23rd, 2020. But
hmm,
let me check here
okay.
quickly. I'll
Yeah.
let you know.
Double check there because I'm looking here in a post
Yeah, I'm looking at your post
legendary
too.
pack.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the legendary pack. Oops. There we
Ah,
go. Look at this. The legendary pack. It's right here. It was right beneath it.
yeah.
I gotcha. You caught me there.
Shame on
That
you,
was a
John, with your
shame
not
on me.
having any knowledge on Dragon Ball. That
Yeah.
so tomorrow, next week, you have to have all Dragon Ball episode watched, just because of that. Just because,
And there will be a test on it too, right?
yeah, that's your punishment.
Yeah, that's my punishment. So you could see here, look at this DLC. It's got four new characters, a new stage, 2 extra missions, 4 side quests, 10 additional moves, 6 costumes, 4 super souls, and 15 illustrations. Now I'm not sure. Do you know super souls or what they're referring to?
the,
Or
the thing is, I'm only familiar until Dragon Ball GT, so I'm
uh-huh.
assuming that this has to do with Super. And yeah, I'm
Oh,
not too familiar with Super Souls, unfortunately.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got this game to play. I don't have this extra DLC, so I'm gonna. My goal is over the next month or so, in my free time, learn a little more of Dragon Ball Z and see if I become more knowledgeable about that. But yeah, so let's go back here again. We're just going to skim through this here
More
quickly.
more new games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So more new games. The Hello Engineer, My Friend Peppa Pig, awesome game for again little kids or big kids like me. I
Yep.
did a stream where we got it was my first Stadia game other than From Space, which is a demo. My first Stadia game to get all the achievements on. It took a little over 2 hours or so playing the game, and I did see like a lot of not a lot, but I did see some comments of people saying, "Oh, well, the game's overpriced. You could beat it in 2 to 3 hours." And I'm like, well, yeah, that's because the target audience again for this is 3 to 8 year olds, right?
Yep.
For a 3 to 8 year old, they're not going to be beating this game, which I'm sure there's probably some that can do it, but for the majority, they're not going to be beating the game in 2 to 3 hours. So I think sometimes people forget that when they're looking at these games and saying that, it's not worth the money. Well, it's because you're a seasoned gamer, right? Or an
Yeah.
older gamer, and like exactly what to do and things like that. Whereas for the younger target audience, I think it's great. I think it's perfectly priced. It's My Friend Peppa Pig. It's somebody that they recognize off of the TV and animated shorts and things like that. So great game if you have little ones as well. Ben 10 as well, fun. Child of Light. That's another great game that we got from Ubisoft
Yep. And you
there.
get
That
it free from UB Plus if you're subscribed to UB Plus. So
Yeah.
that's another
Yeah.
good one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And there we go. And then Heist Simulator Early Access again. That's another game I have. I haven't had a chance to try it, but from what I've heard from the people that have played it there, they're saying that like right now at this point, it's better if you use like a mouse and keyboard to
Mhm.
play it. So who knows? I'll try it both ways and see, what comes up and how it is. So it's a pretty good set of releases here over the last week or so. Something for everybody, all different types of genres and gamers that it appeals to. And that's one of the things I like about Stadia. Although, sometimes there are those triple A games that don't get day and date, but there are other games that definitely do come the same day and date, and the back catalog is slowly filling up. And I just think over time things will pan out, and it's going to be just like Bill and Lloyd said on Nerd Nest, it's going to be a slow burn, right? We
Yep.
can't expect Stadia and Google to come out of the gate flaring like Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo. You look at that, Xbox is just celebrating their 20th year this year, right?
Mhm.
So everyone's got to start somewhere. And if you have the patience, the time, and, put your belief into it, I really do think that Stadia over the next couple of years will find its place in the market as cloud gaming becomes more popular, and they're definitely putting a lot behind it now, making the necessary changes to make it easier to get the games brought over, to get them certified and developed, and enticements and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
So
We're
kudos to
still getting
them.
new games though, like don't get us wrong.
Yeah,
Like we
right.
are like last month we got like I don't know, like at least 4 games or more.
Yeah,
So we're getting games. It's just that we might not be getting every game
yeah.
that are coming out. So they're building up and it's gonna get there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to look at the store. The Stadia store has gone undergone some changes here over the last week or two. And actually, before we do that, we want to highlight here Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So that's got a free play weekend. If you're Stadia Pro member, you could play Ghost Recon Breakpoint and the add-on for free this entire weekend. Actually started yesterday and ends on the 9th, I believe.
I actually had a chance to play this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so the DLC is very hard. So just something
Oh,
to
is
take.
it?
Yeah, something to take in consideration. I was
Mm-hmm.
playing with 3 others:
Mm-hmm.
SPG, Ray, and who else was there? I think it was Doctor, certified doctor, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
And we're all really good gamers, right? And
Hmm.
we had a hard time. People were dying, and it's something to consider. It was really fun.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do here is just take a look here, and we could see that the store we've gotten. There's some new categories that make it easier to find games with the features that Stadia provides here. So looking at Stream Connect, which is an awesome. I love games with Stream Connect because basically it's picture in a picture. So Pierre and I could be playing, and on my screen, I'll see me, and then up in the top right hand corner, I've got a window so I can see what Pierre is seeing, so we can can coordinate things and be like, okay, you go over to the right and I'll go over to the left, and we can see, if there's like an onslaught of enemies coming, and quickly come over there, or if he needs help, or things like that. So it's awesome. And Far Cry 6, Outriders, Orcs Must Die, The Crew 2, Division 2,
And Breakpoint, which
Breakpoint
is
as
free right
well.
now, right? So
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
reason not to try Stream Connect at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, and then we've got crowd play, so that with Dead by Daylight, Create Borderlands, Dragon Ball, Olympic Games Tokyo, Outcasters, and that just allows, if you're streaming it and there's people watching you in the chat there, there's a link that's provided. They can just click it, and bam, they'll instantly join in on your game and be able to play. And it's a great way to get people involved on community play days and things like that. So awesome. Another awesome feature. State share as well. You could save, I know, like for Hitman, which was again part of the summer community challenges, there was a state share put out that had basically a snapshot of a level and the items, and for that example was to see who could take out, fill these certain requirements, kill these enemies by doing this and that in the quickest amount of time by gaining this amount of points. So this is great. One of the games here, we know some of our favorite, and one of Pierre's favorite, Pixel
Yeah.
Junk Raiders.
It is my favorite
Um,
Stadia feature out of the four that they have
mhm.
there. State share is awesome.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Doom Eternal as well. Just got that feature
Just a
added.
new one. Yep.
Yeah, so that's great to see Bethesda still supporting their games on Stadia, even though they're owned by Microsoft. Fantastic. Crowd choice, that's another great feature, which basically will brings up a poll to the people in the chat there, and will give them a decision, and they can vote on a series of different things. And based upon that, this is what will happen in the game. So I know, like, for example, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom, it'll come up where you can vote either, do you want to send them like a potion, or there's other, certain other things, and based upon whatever the vote is, that's what happens. So sometimes, a potion will come down, or it'll be like certain levels that you could choose from, and things like that. There's Baldur's Gate, again, Dragon Ball as well, Outcasters, Dead by Daylight. Uh, so it's great to see that these different categories have been added to the store, highlighting the different unique features that Stadia has as its own platform, and easy to pick out those games. Just as 1, 2, 3, you just go to it and click on it, and you're ready to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see your next tab there on the window, and I'm very excited to talk about that too. The trials.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
going to be
Yes.
very
So
cool.
so yep. So let's go over here. We'll get that refreshed here. Of course, right? So let me
Yeah.
just add it as a new one.
But meanwhile,
We'll
we can
get
talk
rid of
about it.
this.
So, Stadia decided to add trials now, and
Mhm.
it's not it's very different from a demo, and it's very cool and important that they added that. And the reason why is because you can play them without a subscription or without signing into Stadia. Anyone who doesn't have a Stadia account, you can just go on there, click on the game that they want, and then play it. So it's a very good and fast way for people to try Stadia, because or else, even I have a friend that I wanted him to try it out. I wanted him to try Destiny, but during the time where he needed to sign to Stadia, he actually gave up. People sometimes like to have things fast, so I find that this is a very cool feature that they added. They give 30 minutes, I think. Actually, I'm mistaken there. Writers Republic is 2 hours of
2 hours. Yep.
trial,
Two
but
hours. Yep.
Hello Engineer is 30 minutes, and I'm not
Yep.
sure about Control.
Same with Control. Control
Okay.
is 30 minutes as well. So again, that's a great way to be able to try the game with no commitment at all, really. And it's just like I love to see that they've implemented this. You don't, again, like you said, you don't have to have the account or anything. You could just go in and try these games and see if it works for you, in your setup, or see if you enjoy them. So it's great. And I know that they've talked about they're going to be expanding this more. So we're going to see it started out with Control, then Hello Engineer, and then Riders Republic. And this is all in the span of what, a week and a
Very
half?
fast. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very fast. So it's great to see
Can you
that.
imagine if they would do it for all games? How
Yeah,
crazy that would be! Like that would
that
really help. But I
yeah.
mean, I probably not there, but that would just be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome.
Mhm.
So one of the other new features that we want to talk about that's being added here is well, first of all, the Explore tab
Hmm.
that was brought. This is just new into the web version of Stadia here. It's been in the app for a little while, what, like maybe a month at most or whatever. So this is something here. It's where you can, post, share your screen captures or even state shares with your friends. You can see this here.
Someone
Look,
just put a
contr-
toilet.
yeah. I was like,
Wow.
what the heck is this?
Yeah.
That's in Control.
Yeah.
There's Breakpoint. Look, Destiny 2, a video. Let's see if we can a 30-second clip here. You know,
Yeah.
so you can share your clips with friends and things like that. It's just a great way. Oops, let's get
Mhm.
that out of there. To
So when
be
you're
able
bored,
to,
you can just go in there, scroll around, and get some
yeah,
more, get
yeah.
some videos, look at
And,
it.
and you know what's even good too is someone that really likes Control here is that it gives you like it can introduce you to games that you might not even been thinking of, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh well, wait a second. Let's just say, for example, there's FIFA. Oh, I'm not even really sure. And you check it out. That looks cool. Maybe I'll give it a try. Or Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Destiny 2. We see a lot of Destiny 2 in my feed. Madden as well. There's a lot of people where they don't know really is like, well, what's this game like?
John,
And
can you click on the three dots on any pictures for fun?
yep. So we click
Um,
on theirs. We can
okay.
unfollow this game, unfollow the player, or report the post.
Someone today on Twitter, yeah, someone today on
Hmm.
Twitter mentioned that they can play the game right of these. Yeah, I posted that today.
Oh,
right, right of these the three dots, but I don't know how he did it, but that's pretty cool. I hope we see
oh,
it eventually.
it,
Where
it could
I want to
be,
play this
yeah.
game, and
Yeah, that could be rolling out.
yeah,
I'm notorious for getting the features late when they
yeah.
roll. They slowly roll them out. So, but yeah, so there's this NinjaGuy X person. They've been playing Doom today, and they posted that. And like I said, that's pretty cool. Let me see here. Look, there
Ah,
you
there it
go.
is. Yeah,
There
that's
it
the one
is.
I was
Yeah.
talking about.
So once you open up the capture itself, play it. Bam. I mean, that's awesome, right?
Yep.
And even like if you think about it, if you go back here to Control, that we know it that is got a 30-second demo. So if we go here, we click on this and look, bam, you could be
Yeah.
play
Yeah.
this game and you have 30, I said 30 seconds, it's a 30-minute demo.
Oof.
30-second
Um,
clips. Yeah.
Crow Resin here says no thumbs up on the pictures, videos though. So that's true. I feel like there could be some improvement to this to the Explorer, and I hope to see it.
Yeah.
One thing that my number one need for this would be to to bookmark or save these posts. Because, for example, sometimes I see a state share for Pixel Junk Raiders, and I would like to try it later on, right? And I would really want a way to save these posts for later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think that this is a work in progress. They're seeing the feedback, which you can submit directly in the app there, feedback, and they also do see it on social media as well. Like a lot of the times, I'll see, oh well, Google isn't listening to us and what
No,
we
that's
want.
not true.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on. They are listening. They might not acknowledge it, but they have people dedicated, just like every other company out there, to gather that information and feedback. And it's somebody's job or people's job or a whole department's job is to gather that, sort it, and present it so that they can look it over and see. So, definitely. When you share things and doing it in a mindful and respectful way is key, because if
Important.
you're just saying, oh well, this thing sucks, what, and sure that they may look at it, but you have to be respectful and mindful. They're people just like you and I, right? So
Mhm.
but this is cool. I like this new feature that they've added, the Explore tab, and hope to see that expanded upon further
Yeah.
in the
I mean,
upcoming month and year.
it's already an improvement because the Explorer tab has been there since the beginning, I think,
Yeah,
and it was always saying the exact same news, and that was so funny. You'd go there, and they still talk about Destiny, if I'm not mistaken. The
yeah.
first post was always about Destiny, so
Destiny.
uh,
Yep.
it's so funny
No,
that they changed that now.
but like we said, it's going to be a slow burn. It's going to take time for things to be fully fleshed out. We've seen features added over these last 2 years. So many different features have been added. I know people were disappointed at first that at launch that some of these features weren't available, but slowly but surely they're being added, and we could see the Stream Connect, the State Share,
Hmm.
Crowd Play, Crowd Choice, all that cool stuff, direct to stream to YouTube as well. So again, it's just going to take that little bit of time, and things will come. And I'm very positive about the future and the outlook of Stadia itself. So the next thing that we want to look at here is it was just added. I think it was even yesterday or maybe even early today, when you can join a current game, friend's game, without an
Mm,
invite. So if we
yes.
look at that here, I haven't even looked at it myself because I wanted to save it for the stream here. So when you log in, you're going to see here, at least on the web version here, that in the top right hand corner where your icon is, that there's that little dot there, and we go under Stadia settings and we go over here. It brings you right to it, right? The privacy. Oh, it tells you right here, you've got more controllers, new privacy settings. So if we scroll down here,
Oh,
and
oh, is it there?
this is it.
Okay.
So let's see, where
For me, it was right at the beginning. It was
or
like
was it right at the
the
beginning?
first option. Yeah. Uh,
Use contact information,
no,
messages, send game invites.
that's
There's
the
your
yeah. That's what it is. Join your current orange
yep.
there. Yep.
Yeah, so right here, right? So this join
Yep.
new, and it even says new, right?
Yeah.
New, join your current
Mm.
game. So players who see this status can join your multiplayer game without an invite. So that's pretty awesome there. I mean, you always could join a game, you just needed the invite, right? And this doesn't mean that previously on Stadia you couldn't join multiplayer games. No, that's not it. 'Cause I saw some people say that, who aren't really familiar with Stadia, is, oh well, you couldn't play multiplayer games before. No, you always could. This is if you see your friend playing something and it's multiplayer, like Far Cry 6 or Super Bomberman,
Breakpoint,
Outcasters, Breakpoint,
which is free
you
at the
can,
moment.
yeah, you can just join right in there. So that's again another awesome feature, and you click on it here, and bam, it
Explain
tells you right
Stadia.
here, just like that, Far Cry 6 directly. It can go right in, and it tells you how to do it. If you turn it off, then your friends will need that invite as well. So, again, just another great feature that has been added to Stadia, and not even something that was really announced or talked about. So now we're going to go over here.
So many things,
There's so
so
many
many
things to
things.
talk about here,
Yeah.
and you'll see on like we'd mentioned on Twitter, like this first episode here, we're normally we shoot for an hour long, but with this first episode here, there's so many things that we wanted to talk about and introduce ourselves and whatnot. So it's going to be a little bit longer, but normally you can expect it probably second, third episodes to be about an hour and a half. So if we look at things here now, some more new games were announced: World War Z Aftermath and Fire Commander. World War Z Aftermath. It's coming out this winter on Stadia, and let me see if we can just go ahead and even play a little trailer here. I'm not sure if the sound comes through.
No, the sound is not on, but we can talk at the same time. And
Okay. Yeah.
very excited for this one because
Hmm.
we got like one more zombie game, which is
Yep.
Zombie Army 4, but
Hmm.
this one looks a lot more like story driven, and I don't know story driven, but a lot more. I don't know. To me, it looks a lot more attracting. So
Yeah. Yeah.
very exciting.
And you could just see there's like swarms and swarms of zombies.
They run,
And it,
man.
yeah. And again, you can play with your friends. So if you like the games like Left for Dead or maybe even Back for Blood,
Yeah.
even though those games aren't on Stadia, here's something like that is similar to those. And you can see here from the trailer, it's like it looks so awesome. Like I can't wait to play this and just like slice and dice. Yeah, there you go. See, coming to
Nice.
Stadia this winter. And again, so that's something that wasn't even announced. Just out of the blue, we got that. Fantastic,
Very
fantastic,
soon.
fantastic. Yeah.
So we're in winter now, so it could come anytime. It could come today, or it could
Mhm.
come December 31st.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see.
we don't know. Yeah, so
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get a little more concrete date on that. And here's just a little bit. They're talking about it, Saber Interactive, and if you don't have friends to play with or find online, you've got AI players that can play with you as well.
And
New
Aftermath,
stories.
if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's a new story, like a new
Hmm.
revamped version of the game.
Yep,
So we're getting
yep,
the
and it
latest.
and just like you said, look at this here, the next generation of zombie swarm. There's endure endless waves of increased difficult, and then there's a new horde mode XL
Hmm.
that's added to the game. So, and Doom recently got that, right? The new horde mode on Doom
Oh,
Eternal,
yeah.
right? So that's awesome. I had fun with that as well. Streamed that. It was funny. Like I streamed Doom Eternal horde mode, and then later that day, my friend Peppa Pig,
Yeah, yeah.
and people were laughing in the stream. They're like,
That
"You
was
were
so
streaming
funny.
Doom Eternal early this morning. Now we're Peppa Pig." I'm like, "Yeah, all types of games, all different sorts of games." And see, like deep progression, new perspective, free booster zombie update.
Doesn't
So
stop.
yeah, it's awesome. It really looks. I'm really excited for that game. So that should be coming, in the next month or two, couple of months. Then we got Fire Commander. So we're going to turn that down here, and this is an interesting game. I mean, what do you think about it based upon the trailer here?
I it looks very cool, but I like someone said something, and I like what he said. He said it looks like Amber, but for mature people,
Oh,
and
there
it
you
is
go.
right. So it's kind of a sim for rescuing people as a fireman, and
Hmm.
yeah, I really like that description because this is what it feels like. It's very different from Amber, but
Yeah.
looks a lot more serious.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and kind of like an RTS or real time strategy game, like in the vein of like XCOM or things like that. So
Yep.
I'm definitely my interest is peaked on this. Might not necessarily if you told me that there's a game coming out, Fire Commander, and you're a firefighter, I might be like, not too sure on that. But
Yeah.
look at this. I mean, you tell here different classes of fighters, 30 plus missions, unlockable skills, rescue vehicles, story and side missions. And I mean, of course, for the story, you're not going to expect some, epic AAA story here. It's just going to be something that goes along with it. And any enemy you cannot outpower, only outsmart.
Hmm.
So it looks pretty cool.
Nice.
I'm interested. I definitely would try that out. Maybe that might be something that they would have like a 30-minute time trial on, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I'd love
Yeah.
to try it. I'm not sure if I want to buy it. I'm not
Right.
too sure, but a trial that would might be the thing that I'd need to actually like what I play.
Yeah.
Other than that, we got another new game announcement that was not in this blog, and
Mhm.
that's Monopoly Madness.
Oh, that's right. Monopoly. I don't have that one up. Let's see if we
Okay.
can do. I don't think there was even a blog post about that.
I should.
Monopoly Madness.
Yeah, so someone looked at the trailer when it got up. It was from the Xbox. No, it wasn't. It was on a trailer, and at the end we see the Stadia logo. So
Yeah.
we're getting Monopoly Madness, and it looks awesome. I'm not a fan of Monopoly,
Hmm.
but this game is like pure mayhem, and it looks so much
Hmm.
fun. It doesn't even look like Monopoly, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be exciting. A party game.
Again, yeah, exactly. Right. A great game to play with friends. You can see these quirky characters here, and just fun. It's like it's a different take on Monopoly. Like, look at that. Like, there's this dog going around, this cat. Like, what's he got? Like some suction thing. It
Yeah.
kind of looks like a little bit like Animal Crossing type, characters, like on the
Ah.
Switch there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely interesting. Like when you think Monopoly, you think, oh, I would play Monopoly. Everyone
Roll
fights over that.
dices and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But look at this. This actually looks pretty cool here. It's a pretty lengthy trailer.
Yeah, you can see like they're like people are stealing property, yeah, properties from others and things like that. It looks very cool. I
Yeah,
like
look at
the
that.
way it looks.
He gets all, look at that.
It
So
it's
again, a
crazy.
great party game, right? Like
You,
you can see like all these little mini type games and yeah, madness it is for sure. Yeah.
there's a game it reminds me of, but I can't remember. Was it? I think it's Mario Party Star Rush, but I'm not too sure. Have you ever played this, John? Mario Party Star Rush?
I have, but it's
It's
been
been
a
a
little
while.
while.
It
Yeah,
it
yeah.
reminds me of the Mario Party where everybody does their turn at the same time.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
exactly what I see here. I see that it's just everybody is just going on and doing playing Monopoly at the same time, and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Monopoly here. Yeah. Okay, so next we're rolling on with the news here, and apologize. I got the sun coming in here. I've got the blinds down and
I
the
noticed.
shades down, but the sun's powering through here
Should have wear a
with
hat.
with the time change this weekend. Hopefully the sun won't be like this for our next one. But
It's like completely dark where I am right now.
oh
So
yeah, sunsetting here in the sky here in Toronto, and it's going down right over the Rogers Center and CN Tower, and of course, right, it could be anywhere else, but right here on my face, in my eyes. So I apologize for that in advance here, but we'll move on here. So the next thing we're going to talk about is
yes.
outright games. As you know, starting in this past August, they started publishing their games on Stadia, and we've already got like quite a few games. And one of them, which I was able to actually get about a 10-minute hands on with at a media event at Outright Games this past
Oh.
September, is the Fast and the Furious Spy Racers Rise of Shifter. So this is based upon the Netflix animated series of it, and from the time that I had with it there, it's very Mario Kart ish type play in it, and obviously there is the characters and the stuff from the animated series and things like that, but this actually looked pretty fun, and I could see it appealing to um, you know not the younger gamers, right? So like the teen and older as well. So this looks fun. It was supposed to come out on Stadia and PC and PlayStation 5 and Series X today, but Outright Games back right before Halloween, so last week here, put out this tweet saying that the PlayStation 5 version, the Series X, and the Stadia versions have been delayed and will release after the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and the PC versions here. So if we take a look at it here, well, we notice there that obviously, they need more time to develop it. But what's very interesting here is there will be a delay to the next gen release of Fast and Furious Spy Racers Rise of the Shifter on PlayStation 5, Series X, and Stadia.
Read that
So
back, John.
yeah, yeah. So the keywords is that outright is referring to the Stadia version of the game as a next gen release. So I thought that was very interesting. Whether it means anything or not, I don't know. But just for them to mention that and refer to it as a next gen release is pretty awesome. The game did launch today on the previous generation consoles, also PC as well. So hopefully we'll see the Stadia version here not
Sometime
too
soon.
not too long. Yeah, it says release in the coming months. So I don't know. It would be awesome if it came before the end of the year, but maybe not. Maybe early
Yeah.
2022 is
But
kind of what I'm thinking.
what's nice is that if there's ever next gen features, then Stadia is probably getting them, right? Just because
Yeah.
of the way that they worded that. So
Yep.
can't wait to see what we're going to see with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty awesome here. So with the spotlight on my face here, let's go ahead and we're going to close this tab here. And next we're going to go on and talk about I came across this. Mobile Syrup is it's a website here in Canada. They cover obviously mobile, a whole bunch of different things, gaming as well. And what we come across is TELUS, who is a telecom company here for mobile service, has teamed up with Mobile Syrup to promote actually the Pixel 6 and Stadia itself with the further rollout of 5G and what it means to cloud gaming. So I thought this was a pretty cool article. I didn't see it anywhere um, posted on Twitter or social. Shout out to Death Alive for bringing this to our attention here on the Gaming Scarmy Discord. Thank you so much. I know he doesn't like to take credit for a lot of things, but Death Alive is a wealth of knowledge
Oh,
and has a
it's
great knack for finding amazing jobs and articles and things of that nature. So a big shout out to Death Alive for finding that. And you can see it here that Mobile Syrup and TELUS, they're joined forces with some Canadian tech content creators to show what 5G means for cloud gaming. And you could win the new Pixel 6. So essentially here, we're going to have some, some techies here that try it out, and they're going to make videos and things like that about cloud gaming with Stadia and these content creators. And what they're going to have to do is create a cloud gaming setup outdoors using the 5G network and Stadia. And
nice.
so I guess this contest is only open to people in Canada. So, the few Canada only contests we get, right, because a lot of the
Yeah.
time we're excluded from stuff
Yeah.
that's from the US. So finally there's a contest here that's Canada only, and basically you're going to just to enter the contest here is what creator has the best cloud gaming setup, and they're going to pick some winners. I just thought it was pretty neat to see that TELUS and teaming up with Google and Mobile Syrup and talk about cloud gaming and Stadia. So pretty awesome, to be honest
Yeah.
with you here.
And I mean it's a good way to maybe bring up some new players. So I'm very up for that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely for sure. Okay, so moving on in our list here, I promise you that it is going down here.
Yeah, we're trying
So
to go because there's a lot of interesting stuff that we want to do afterwards. So
yeah,
that's why John's
exactly.
going through it. Yeah.
So next thing here, AMD they're released a new Radeon Pro V620, basically a video card for servers aimed at cloud gaming and machine learning, and the performance on these video cards are just slightly above the 3080. So they're pretty beefy cards. Um, And it's awesome. Like, nothing has been hinted at or acknowledged by anybody, but a lot of people are talking about, could this be something that Google looks at for the hardware upgrades
Mhm.
that people are asking for and whatnot. And you can see it's a RDNA 2 GPU, and it's pretty awesome, to be honest with you. If we look at the specs here, it's again, like I said, it's just slightly above, pretty much equivalent to a 3080 card. So it's just quite interesting.
And it's great because what was happening is that if Stadia would have upgraded their card before this news, it would have been like a slight upgrade because their most recent AMD server cards, they're not that great. But this is exactly what we needed. So
Yep.
if Stadia ever decide to upgrade and decide to go with the latest technology, we'll have something that is actually very on par with other cloud gaming service that we have at the moment.
And awesome, like a 3080, that video card uh, on computers does amazing stuff. So will it happen? We don't know, but it's fun to look at it as, being tech enthusiasts and looking at things like this and just seeing that this type of technology come out there. And we know that Google currently has, worked with AMD on the cards that they use in their servers now. So who knows? It could happen. Not guaranteeing anything, but it's just awesome to look at. And we're now going to move over here. There was a Stadia dev blog post here that just came out the other day, and it's using the
Mm,
cloud to scale production playtests and closed betas. So we know back in February, people hate it when we mention it, but we're doing it in a positive context here with the closure of SG&E and Google saying that what basically we're going to bunker down here. We're going to focus on third party. We're going to create a white label service, and we're going to reach out to our partners and be able to offer the technology, which help funds. Stadia itself. We've already saw Batman with AT&T. That's the
mhm.
first white label Stadia, and if anybody had a chance to play it, it runs awesome and it looks great. So that's cool. So basically, what this blog post is talking about is that just talking about here that we already know, as playing on Stadia, that as part of the cloud, there's no downloads, there's no updates, it's click to play. So here is one of the program managers here at Stadia is saying, we realize these benefits could also apply to developers who have cases for releasing content to trusted members of the public before launch, right?
Mhm.
So one of these things are distributing content for playtests and betas.
Magic word.
Not having to worry about managing downloads and updates. Everyone's on the correct build, all that good stuff. Everything that we love about Stadia itself, security and trust. Making sure that things are secure. So here we are. This program manager is talking, saying that they've spent the last year working to bring these benefits to the partners. And starting now, any Stadia partner can use a cloud to iterate, playtest, and close betas faster than before in a feature called channels. So what this means is that again, basically like what it says here, that it's now easier to have playtests and closed betas on Stadia. I know before there were some playtests and betas that we didn't get here on Stadia, and people were upset and wondering, why is this, why is that. We did get Riders Republic, so that's awesome. That's the
Yep.
latest, and could just be part of this is what they're talking about.
Yep.
And again, it's telling here developers can use these channels for pre-launch test or closed beta with build and storefront of their choice. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be on the Stadia store, right? So again, this is that white label that they're talking about, and just talks about, like, the ease and ability to be able to do this and how much easier it is. And they talk about here in one case study, a developer wanted to run a 500 user player test on the cross-platform multiplayer feature, but didn't want the people to keep the players keep the entitlement. So, that's one use of it. Another publisher wanted to run an early press access program for an upcoming game. Now, again, not necessarily a game that's coming to Stadia. It could be on a different platform, but they're using the Stadia technology. So, um, then there's another case they wanted to ensure their production servers were correctly configured. So you can see, again, this is part of that further expansion and broadening of the Stadia technology, and just making it available for the partners to use. And I think this is just really interesting and awesome
Yeah.
for them to be
Um,
sharing that with us.
I think that it's part of the. I know that we've heard about Stadia improving for the development tools and stuff, and I feel like this is part of it. It
Yeah.
might not be, and we only heard that from job descriptions, but
Yes.
I feel like this is part of where they want to improve on development tools.
Yeah, 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 definitely for sure.
Mhm.
So again, we're moving through our list here. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for all. I'm looking at the chat here. I haven't had a chance to look. I know Pierre's been in
I
there.
looked it all
It's,
up. Yep,
yeah, it's
Adam,
just it's
we're looking at the
amazing.
chat, by the way.
Yeah, it's so awesome. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take our names off here. Bam. Here we go. So as part of the show here, one of our segments are getting to know the Stadia community. And so, we started out with introducing ourselves and who we are. So each week we look and we've put a tweet out, and we'll put some more tweet out. If you're interested in coming on, it's a pre-recorded segment where we just get to talk and know a little bit about you and Stadia. You'll see here with a segment that's coming up here with Jack the Slip as well. This is just again reaching out and creating that the greater sense of community. So we've got an interview here that I did with Jack. A lot of you know him, some of you may not. So this is a great segment that's coming up in the interview that we recorded yesterday with Jack, getting to know the Stadia community. So I'm going to go ahead and start it here, and we'll be in the chat here. Our mics and stuff will be muted, but we'll be in the chat here and talking and conversing with everybody here.
I'm doing great. I always love talking to you, John.
Oh, good. Well, thank you for being our first guest on the very first episode of Stadium Connect North. And this is a segment
Awesome.
where we start to get to know the members of the Stadia community. So, Jack, for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself. What country do you live in? Tell us just a little bit about Jack.
Yeah. So hey, I'm Jack. I'm a Canadian living in Oakland, California. I work in the field of supercomputing, which you can think of kind of a little bit like cloud computing, but
Mhm.
a bit more state of the art, and with sort of more tightly coupled compute nodes, typically with like a custom or high performing interconnect. And so what I do is I work with scientists all over the country to do things like climate modeling, cosmology, and chemistry, and I help them kind of write their simulation and data analysis applications for our systems.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I never knew that. That's awesome. So, can you tell us like a little bit about yourself as like gaming wise? Have you always been into gaming, or is it just Stadia that brought you into gaming?
Yeah, I think I've been into gaming kind of on and off over the course of my life. As a kiddo, I had a NES, a Super NES, and I think
Mhm.
PlayStation 1 and 2.
Mhm.
But I would say even more consistently, I've kind of always been pretty passionate about consumer technology. And so, I've gotten involved in several communities over the years. I used to work kind of on Linux desktop applications. I'm the kind of
Okay.
nerd who used to run a Linux user group in his spare time during grad school. um, So I was always sort of trying to bring about that faded year of the Linux desktop.
Yeah.
And during the early days of Android, I was active in that community as well. But I think over the last 5 years or so, I've sort of gravitated more to the web as sort of my platform of choice. So I'm what you might call a rare breed, I guess, because I'm a Chrome OS power user. But I think
So
it's my go
no,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, I guess I was going to say, sort of my belief that the web is kind of what can finally deliver on, what I was working for sort of as a Linux advocate back in the day, which is like a software and service experience. It just kind of works on whatever device, screen, or kind of operating system that you prefer or you want to use. And so that's kind of how I became interested in cloud gaming. And I think Stadia really brought me back in. I think I've gamed more in the last 2 years than the previous 20 combined.
Wow. So okay. So now we know a little bit about you and your background, what you do, and what got you interested in Stadia. Tell us a little bit about your involvement in the community. Something about a summer championship or something like that this past year.
Yeah, so I mean, I can kind of tell you how I got it started in the community.
Sure. Yeah, that
Which,
would be great.
which is, I was a Stadia founder. I had been a GeForce Now user actually before that for several years using the NVIDIA Shield, which I still think is a great device. And I at some point I think NVIDIA kind of shook up their business model and decided against kind of running their own platform and kind of became more of a cloud front end for Steam and I guess now like Epic and GOG and others. And I kind of always had mixed opinions on that. I think that they definitely increased their game count quite quickly, but the experience was always just a little kind of clunky to me. It's sort of, if you imagine like Netflix back in the day, instead of launching as a proper cloud service, was like a remote desktop app that launched like iTunes on a Windows box in the cloud, and then asked you to kind of buy a movie and then play it via a remote media player. So when Stadia came out and they had their first keynote, I think that really resonated with me because it kind of felt like GeForce Now, but done right, sort of with a cloud first approach. And so I was a founder. I was just kind of playing. I wasn't really part of the community until the sort of pandemic hit, and I started playing more and more, particularly with our kiddo at home. And I think sometime around June, I must have made the mistake of like deciding to browse YouTube for Stadia content, and I was pretty dismayed at what I found, which was a lot of creators describing Stadia as something that was sort of completely different than my own experience with it. And I started wondering, like, am I alone having this great experience with Stadia? And so thankfully I kept searching, and I found the subreddit where I saw this like really active and thriving community. And I also found a number of kind of smallish YouTubers. And so I came up with this personal goal, which, I totally admit I don't really have a lot of control over, of just, helping the Stadia community find, support, and grow kind of our own grassroots community of streamers and influencers who are sharing kind of positivity about the platform. And I've always been a bit of a data nerd myself. I actually, other ways that I'm a rare breed, I guess, is I lead a very instrumented life. I like to kind of carefully track like my fitness, like all of my personal and professional projects, like my finances and spending. And so, to that end, I sort of started tracking the YouTube channel growth and posting regularly on Reddit to kind of help people find these great content creators on YouTube. The channels that I struggled to find myself at first, and who I think are really putting out really high quality content. And over time, I kind of increased that to include kind of a whole set of other metrics beyond just YouTube subscriber counts, but also things like Twitter and Facebook followers, the
Mhm.
Reddit member counts, like Google Play review counts, leaderboard sizes, Discord sizes, achievement community sizes,
Yeah.
and things like that. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So yeah, so that's another question I was going to mention too is about so you track this data and you have actually like a website or the database that anybody could check that you report upon every week in the Stadia subreddit and it does track that growth. You also have a monthly show, kind of what you do. You and work with MM2K and report upon, like maybe like a month overview of the Stadia and how certain trends and things like that. Is there anything like you could maybe comment on, like of what you started to see maybe over the last couple of months or something that's just piqued your interest?
Yeah. I mean, I think in general, it's just fun to watch. I mean, I'm just the
Hmm.
kind of person who likes to look at numbers, I guess. But
Yeah.
um, it's fun to watch these plots that go kind of up and to the right, right
Hmm.
over time. And you can see that there's been a lot of really impressive community milestones in the really just the last few months or the last half a year.
Hmm.
When I started this project kind of back in June 2020, I think some of the biggest Stadia positive YouTubers, were in like the low thousands, like 1,000,
Hmm.
2,000 followers, and now
Hmm.
essentially we're kind of 10x above that point, with
Wow.
like Sunny Cloud Gaming, for example, passing the
Yep.
20,000
Yeah.
subscriber mark, and a number of others, kind of a similar order of magnitude. So that's really awesome. Seeing like the Reddit
Hmm.
community pass the 100,000
Hmm.
mark, um, and I consistently also look at some of the game leaderboard sizes, and it's
Hmm.
interesting to watch like a game. They look at a game like FIFA get released and have thousands of people jump in and start playing it, and end up on like the multiplayer
Hmm.
leaderboards.
That's awesome. Awesome. That's great. And so we'll just touch briefly too upon you were the mastermind and the brains behind a community event that took place this past summer. It's the Summer Community Championships. You want to can you just touch briefly for those that aren't aware of what it was or what it's involved? Could you, kind of just like highlight that for us?
Sure, yeah. I had this idea, I think, of doing something big to,
Hmm.
just have fun and to also celebrate the platform and the community, and
Hmm.
just, throw some shine on Stadia content creators. And I think the last year, 2 years have been really tough, I think, on many people. But gaming with Stadia has been one of the ways that I've stayed kind of distracted from the
Hmm.
worries of the real world, and I've connected with my kiddo during his shelter in place, and
Right.
stay connected to my friends and family via game nights and party
Hmm.
chat, and really made a lot of new friends within the community. So I definitely felt luckier than most during the
Hmm.
pandemic.
Hmm.
um, my wife and I had sort of steady work, and
Hmm.
we weren't doing a lot of traveling, and other expenses kind of went down. And so,
Right.
I really wanted to just make a contribution to the community to kind of give back, and, um, put some dollars where my mouth was in terms of my sort of support of the community. And I think it
Yeah.
was super fun. It was I was
Yeah.
really happy with the way it turned out. It was really cool. And it was just so fun to watch, a bunch of community members sort of competing at such a really high quality level.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had what there was a if I'm trying to remember. There was what, four or five, was there was four. I believe there was four weeks of competition. Is that correct? I think it was four, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had sort
Yeah.
of 4 preliminary rounds, and then we
Mhm.
had like the finals for everybody, for the 16 contestants, I guess, who made it to the finals.
Finals, yeah. So that was
Yeah.
great, so that was took over. It started in July, and then the finals were, in early August, and that's where, as you mentioned, the top 16 players from the previous 4 weeks, battled it out for supremacy to, take home all the glory, and, we had one person that came away with that. Do you remember who won the first annual summer community championship?
Yeah, if I would have guessed before the whole thing started, I probably would have picked this person, which is Jem,
Yep, yeah,
Jem Bear
Gem.
Gaming.
Yeah,
He's just an amazing gamer.
yeah, he's
But
so
actually,
fun to
about
play with.
halfway through, I might have changed my vote to be to predict that NinjaGuy X was going to
Yes,
win. But
yeah.
then Jem pulled it out in the end.
It was awesome, and it's such a great initiative and community event, to bring people together and just, and through that event, I even made several new friends as well. Kind of get into this earlier on the show, but I first saw or met Ninja Guy X, my co-partner in crime here, a few months before the community championships, but it was just, just a little here or there, hello and stuff like that. But on one of the weeks, I was, restreaming or broadcasting and commenting on one of his playthroughs there, and through there we've connected and we've become friends. And now you can see months later, here we are doing a show for the Stadia community. So I think it's a really fantastic initiative, and just a kudos to you for coming up with that, and just, it's such an awesome event, and it's great to see, people like you in the community being positive, sharing, their love for the platform, and kind of just steering clear of, the negatives, or, the people that are try to, lure you in, and talk death and doom. But I really do appreciate it, Jack. I mean, you've really done a lot for the community and for everybody, and it's great to be able to sit down here today and talk with you one on one like this, and kind of just to get, not only for myself but for others, just to kind of get to know you a little bit more. You also participated in Caring from the Clouds. You raised
Yeah,
a great amount of money as well too, for the charity. What was your charity again? Remind me.
yeah. Our charity was Lincoln Families, which is kind of a
Hmm.
local Oakland organization that
Hmm.
helps keep families together and tries to like disrupt the cycle of poverty through kind of a
Right.
focus on education uh, and um, kind of helping families deal
Hmm.
with some of the trauma of um, things that can happen in the community.
Right. Yeah. Well, a big, again, thank you for that as well, for participating. I know you were
Yeah.
in a couple of the weeks there. We raised over $5,500 US, like collectively. That was so awesome. I was so glad. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that, that would happen, but sure enough, it did. And I want to thank you for being part of that and making that, reach that goal, making some of that happen.
Yeah, I mean, and huge kudos to you, John, for
Oh.
for organizing that event. I think one of the things I really love about the Stadia community is that there are just so many people who like step up to help make everybody's
Mhm,
experience better,
mhm.
both within the community, and then they take it and kind of uh, apply that mentality to the kind of greater uh, what do I want to say? I guess like the
The greater
kind of
good, right?
yeah, towards the greater good, or towards like kind of humanity in general.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that's just awesome to kind of
awesome.
use that community spirit and apply it towards something bigger.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, Jack, I want to thank you. I know you are a busy, busy person. I want to thank you for your time and being, again, our first guest here on Stadium Connect North of getting to know the community. And I hope you have a great rest of the day, Jack. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
All right, guys, it is my favorite part of the show. And the reason is because I get to host it. No, I'm just kidding. So the two next segment is going to be actually me. So what we're going to do next, and something that we're going to do every week, it's the game of the week. So every week we're going to pick a game. We're going to show footage of the game, and we're just going to talk about the game and how great it is, or how not great it is. It depends on if we like the game or not, and just go on with it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press play here, John, if you don't mind sharing the screen.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Can you control the volume? Okay, because it's a little bit loud. Okay, perfect. So what I do here is I just shared my video that I do sometimes. It's called Stadia Shorts, but it's a 5-minute video, and we're just going to talk about Guild. So Guild was a release. It released actually the same time as Stadia, if I'm not mistaken, right, John?
Yep. It was a launch game. Yep.
Perfect. And it was also an exclusive to Stadia. It still is. So it's the only way that we can that we can play this game is through Stadia, which is pretty incredible. And it's a very polished game and a very sneaky game. So if you're into action, this is not the game for you. It's a game where you really have to sneak your way around enemies. And yeah, so the game is about a little girl who's trying to find her cousin, I think, who's been lost in somewhere, and she ended up finding this weird world, and her cousin is actually in it. So that's the whole story. She's trying to go sneak through all these weird enemies and trying to find find a way to get to her cousin. I've only played 1 hour of the game, but what I've played is awesome. Like I said, it's very well crafted. The worlds are really fun. I like to, I just like to travel through the world. It's very fluent, the difficulty is there, but it's not too hard. It's pretty much for everyone, if I'd say. I feel like I'm doing a review, and it's awesome. But do you have anything to add, John, to this?
No, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, this is Guilt is the first game that I played and completed on Stadia, and I love the overall story of it as well. Is it like you had mentioned, your cousin goes missing, and you're looking for her, and you end up coming into this alternate world, and it's really a story about bullying and the effects of bullying, and it's great. It's a fantastic story. I love the gameplay and the world around it, and I really do hope that we see more of Guilt and Sally. There's multiple endings to it. There's 2 endings to the game, so make sure that you save before the final boss.
Nice.
And it's awesome. I still, like I said, to this day, it is definitely in my top 10 games on Stadia. Fantastic, fantastic game.
I haven't thought about that, but a sequel would definitely be amazing. I don't know what the relationship with the developers or publishers of the game, but I would love to see that.
Yeah.
In the game, you can also collect some items. I think there's some collectibles in there. You need, if you want to recover your health, you need to pick up their inhalers that she have. Yep. And you have a special flashlight that you can use. You can either use it to remove creatures because they have big eyes, so it like kind of destroys them because they don't like the light. You can actually kill enemies from behind, which will drain a lot of your battery. But what you can do, you can actually pick up batteries around the world and recover your battery from that. Like you've just seen, I've actually killed an enemy, and my battery on my backpack, as you can see, the light, it's been depleted. So now I need to find more batteries, and now I'm picking up a can that I can use to distract the enemy while I just sneak around, So I just saw PSX says that there's 3 endings, so a
Yeah,
secret
there's
one.
3 endings. There's a secret one. I didn't realize the secret ending, so I
Hey,
have to go back and figure out how to do that.
interesting. Then
Yeah.
the cutscenes are great. I like them. I think we're going to see a cutscene pretty soon, actually. And actually, no, it's not right now. But I love the graphics. They are modern. They're not. Uh, they use some modern technology.
Mhm.
It's not crazy, triple A game, but it kept me entertained throughout.
Yeah, I definitely recommend this game. I know it has been a Stadia Pro game in the past.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it has been a Stadia Pro game, so it's great. I'm not sure what the price is now
Yeah, I was gonna
on
look
the
it up
game.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
let me
you can
check
look it up
that.
and
And
see.
the video is just about to finish, so I'm gonna get the price, and then we're gonna move to the other segment. So
Yeah, I
Guilt
love.
right now is 39.99 Canadian,
Mm,
and USA it's 29.99, and in Europe it's 29.99 also. So very affordable. I think the game is pretty long. It's uh, I'm not sure how long it is actually because I've never finished it, but I think for the price it's not too bad. All
yeah,
right. So let's jump up to the next segment. Give us feedback if you like. The segments that we're doing. We're having a list here of 7 segments, and we're very excited, to share all of this. So right now, what we're going to talk about. So we talked about news, but because our show is focused 50-50 on the community, we're looking to also highlight some stuff that the community that happened in the community. So we have a list of 5 things that happened in the community this week. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let me just take something out here. Share screen. You know what? I'm just going to share my whole desktop because we don't need any sound. There we go.
we add it in there. There we
Perfect.
go.
So the first thing that we want to talk about is Bryant has got his newborn. He's saying, soaking in the newborn goodness. The Nerf report will be back tomorrow, featuring an excellent, extremely sleep deprived host. So congratulations to Bryant, who is now a new father. He seems to like it. He was pretty excited. I saw his video. I saw his video about Netflix, which was his first video afterwards. It was pretty funny at the beginning. They was talking about his newborn and joking a little bit around. And no, so Brian, congratulations to you, and hope you enjoy your time as a father. Next up is uh, wait, what is that? Mention your okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
so Google Stadia this week on November 2nd. They decide this is a Tuesday actually, and it's the Tuesday that we don't have it this week on Stadia. And they decided to make this post here. Mention your favorite Stadia content creator in the replies and see if they respond. And the replies were amazing. And John, I'm sure you can say the same, right? There were over a
Yeah.
hundred comments, and there were so many. Of course, you're going to see my comments, my tags here first, but there were so many, so many people talking. Wait, am I in the right place?
Yeah,
Okay,
you
yeah.
just have to click on show more. If you scroll up there, scroll
Okay,
up, and then
show
say
more
show more.
replies.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go. Yeah.
so yeah, it doesn't stop. Just everybody in the community just went ahead and tagged so many people. And
Yeah.
I've even learned about a few content creators I wasn't aware of. It's like the
Yep.
perfect place to, you know, to see exactly what the community is about. There was a lot of love, man. Like everybody uh, who got who got tagged, they replied back just to
Mhm.
show that their presence was there, and a lot of people were honored for this.
I love some of the replies. Of course, as a community, we like to joke around with each
Yep.
other and play, and it's just kind of funny to see some of the memes and the animated gifs there that people reply with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stadia
Crow and
Pro Gaming.
SPG. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jay Williams. I like it's
Jay.
fun because I recognize all of these faces too. So
Yeah.
it was a very cool gather up.
Yeah, and it's like you mentioned too. Like there's even a couple of people that I wasn't, there were new that I've met, and now since followed them and started talking to them as well. So this is great. It's just another awesome way to interact
Yeah.
with the community. Yeah.
And Metal Wolf did not mention me or John, so we're just gonna ban him right now from the chat because it doesn't seem like he likes us. So, all right.
Uh,
So next up, we got Soul Passage Games. So this is kind of news and community at the same time. So what
mhm.
happened here? I'm just going to read the post. So he says, "Hey, indie game lovers and fellow indie devs, for Soul Passage game, we planning to reach as many players as we can. We plan to launch on PC, PS, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, even Atari VCS. So what do you think about Stadia? Let us know in the comments." So the thing is, he asked, like, should they bring the game to Stadia? And what happened here? Look at all of this: 120 likes, 33 retweets, 5 quoted tweets. Let's just see that for fun. So you see here, DB Stadia, Cult of Stadia is just so everybody. Oh, even John. Let me get that. The
Yeah.
response to this tweet from Stadia community is awesome. So he even agrees here that it's just crazy. Like every time we see this, all of the Stadia community gathering up to help these developers come up with Stadia, it's crazy. And I just wanted to add that. Wait, I'm just trying to gather my thoughts here, but yeah. So there's two things. So the Stadia community does impact with games coming in. So I feel like Google is watching, and what we do here is just something that can help us bringing more games to the platform. And also, just for fun, I just want to talk about, we're a lot of time we try to convince developers to bring games and stuff, and it's not because we're desperate or anything. It's just because we want people, like, we want the developers to know that like, there's a community, there's a lot of people that want their games on the platform. So
Mhm.
it's just a way to explain to these developers that Stadia is not dead, or it's just to convince them that we want their games on our platform, basically.
Yeah, and it's definitely when they see this massive response. I mean, I'm sure you can look back and see there that from any other of the communities, even like Atari VCS or things like that, they didn't get the type of response. Of course, putting it on Xbox and PlayStation, Switch, because those are the big three, the most popular. They have huge user bases, so that's pretty much a given. But just seeing the community respond and show their support. I even posted it on Reddit, and there's people on Reddit
Oh
that didn't
yeah.
have Twitter accounts, and they're like, "Well, I don't have a Twitter account, but let them know, that we want it." Or there's people that even went in and created their own Twitter account just so they could respond to this developer as well. And yeah, you can see, yep,
Hollow Knight
yep,
vibes.
Hollow Knight
And
vibes.
Soul Passage confirmed that the team likes Hollow Knights. They responded to, so they're very active, which is very cool.
Hmm.
The next
Yeah.
thing I want to talk about is, so on the Stadia official Discord, we now have a special event made for the community. It's called it's just the event, I guess it's called, and
Hmm.
you can subscribe to it, to the announcement, by going in. You know what? I'm not sure where it is, but there's a place here that you can click to get the news about the events.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, so what's happening? So last weekend on Sunday, they did an event here for Cake Bash and Dead by Daylight. So what happened is that we got a whole bunch of community members coming on the Discord, and we all played together. This is all organized by Vivi, which is Vivi Plays on Twitter.
Hmm.
And that's what he does. So every time there's an event, he's going to post it here. He's going to tell us what kind of games we should have. Actually, I haven't looked at that, so I'm going to have to see what he's talking about here. But this is the way for Stadia, for Google, to bring the community together. They allowed Vivi to just create these events that we're having. So the next event is going to be on November, at the end of November. So keep your
Hmm.
eyes out and have a look for sure. We laugh a lot. I've participated at both events. John has participated at the first event with Bomberman,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
it was so much fun. Like people are very funny, and we had a lot of fun. You know what? On Bomberman, we were beaten by a 4 years old and a 7 years old, so that was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Really,
They whipped everyone's butt in that. I think maybe somebody, I don't remember now. I streamed that event too. But I think that like near the end someone actually did get like a win that wasn't one of the two brothers. There were 4 and 7 year old. They were brothers. The dad was in the chat and I think was playing along as well.
yeah,
And it was just so funny to see that every time they would come into one of the rooms in the Bomberman, and everyone's like, "Stay away, stay away, stay away from him, run, run!"
yeah,
And they legitimately kicked all of our butts. So
yeah,
it was so
exactly.
fun. It was awesome.
Yeah. So while I'm at it, I just want to mention a few Discord server that we have, which is very cool with the community. So we have the official Stadia server here. We have Stadia Hunters. If you're into getting into achievements, you can go there and they'll help out with some achievements if you need some help. We have Force Cars Gaming Sanctuary, where Force Cars hangs out and all of his fans and even everybody in the Stadia community is looking into it. There's a lot of Canadians, if you're Canadians too.
Mhm.
And the last one that I have on here is the Sunny Cloud Gaming, which is it's the same thing. It's just a gather up of
Sunny.
all the fans of Sunny, and it's a very nice one where you can just talk about Stadia and stuff. So I really like these. Now on to the last news. So caring from the cloud. You know what, John? I'm gonna let you talk about this one. I'm just gonna say that the caring from the clouds event was successful, but I'm gonna leave the mic to you.
Oh yeah. So well, definitely, caring from the clouds was something that I thought about doing back in August when Outright Games brought those games to Stadia. I think they launched with 4 games. It might have been five, 4 or 5. I decided that I would do a charity event, a stream, and raise money for the sick kids hospitals. And I did a 2 to 3 hour stream and we raised quite a bit of money. It was like awesome and amazing. And I thought, you know what? Like this is so cool and there's a lot of potential here. So I began to think and plan and think about doing a community wide charity event, and I reached out to some developers and was talking about, well, would you be interested in this? I wrote up a whole thing, a whole blog post there explaining what the event was. It's not sponsored by Google or by anybody else. It's just Stadia community members from around the world playing their favorite games and raising money for charities of their choice. And a lot of developers, I got response back. They said, you know what? That's a fantastic idea. We're going to donate some prizes. So I thought, okay, well that's cool. So I was getting support from developers on the games and letting them know about it. And I said, okay, well, I started reaching out to some Stadia community members. And originally, it was just going to be 2 Saturdays in October, but I got so many people. Like once people got wind of it, it was every Saturday in October, which there were 5 Saturdays, and we had at least on every 5 of those Saturdays there was at least 12, 14, 16 hours of like streaming. So people would pick their own time slots, 2 hour time slots, their games, their charities. I had a central post here on the blog, and we had people all over Canada, US, Germany, UK, France, Italy. Like it was just totally amazing. And we ended up raising just a little over $5,500 US for, again, charities all around the world. So it was so awesome. And the community came together. Even people outside of the Stadia community got involved and donated. And just a big kudos to everybody that either made a donation, liked, shared the content, participated in chat. To the people that participate, the streamers are donating their time and playing games and raising money for people. It's such an awesome event. And before it was even over, I mean, obviously there were people that wanted to participate that couldn't. I've already been asked, well, when are we doing the next one? When are we doing the next one? So there's some other projects that have got, in the works in the background here that we're working on. But, maybe we'll start to look at planning one for the spring. Maybe start some preliminary planning in January. So if there's anybody out here that's in the chat and is watching and would be interested in participating in a Caring from the Clouds Part 2 in 2022, just hit myself up or Pierre here and just let us know that you would be interested. We've got both of our details in the description of the video, so multiple ways that you can contact us, our YouTubes, Twitters, the Discord, all that good stuff. So yeah, it was an awesome event. It was pretty tiring, but it was fun. It was very fulfilling, and very glad to see such an amazing reaction and just support from everybody all over. It was awesome.
Yep, I agree. And I got I was lucky to get the developer from Falconeer during my Caring from the Cloud events, and it was amazing, man. Such a nice guy, and I can't believe that he'd accepted to come to my Caring from the Cloud event. So that was very cool, and uh, I want to try to get more involved with developers because he did open some windows by
Yeah,
doing that. So it was very
yeah.
cool.
Definitely.
Uh,
And then that's something too that on the show here that not only we're going to talk to people in the community, but we'll have developer interviews as well. So again, if there's anybody that you would like us to try and interview or see on the show to be able to ask questions, when we have a developer on, the goal would be to do it live so that we could have interaction with the chat so that you'd be able to ask questions. So just again, let us know, leave a comment on the video, send us a message, an email, a DM, whatever. Just contact either one of us and let us know, and we'll try to do our best to make that happen. So that would
yep.
be, awesome. We're all about the community. So if you have any ideas, and I think we've mentioned it a couple of times, hit us up. If there's something you don't think that's working right, say, "Oh, I like this, but maybe you can make these changes here or there." And we're totally open to making the show great for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I see here Mark Sally says pixel junk. I'm just gonna say stay tuned. I'm working on something. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
definitely.
jump into the next part, which is
Hmm.
very juicy.
Yes,
It
very juicy here.
Yeah.
S- So we're going to bring this up here. And great. So, like I mentioned earlier, let me get my screen over here in the show here, boy, which seems like a long time ago near the start, but again, thank you everybody for sticking with us here. And every show isn't going to be this long, but it's
No.
uh, it's
Mhm.
fantastic that already seeing this awesome support. So again, just a quick overview here. Last week on October the 26th, put a tweet out there asking the community before we officially announced the show here, and kind of just put the little logo down here, asking what game would you love to play, why, but or you can't afford it or justify the cost. And again, what would you do with a Chromecast with Google TV and controller? So we had a lot of responses to this. And ultimately, what this is again, we're going to be doing this every month. So the first Friday of every month, we'll be giving away at least one game and one Chromecast with Google TV and Stadia controller. So make sure that you keep watch of our tweets. And when we put the tweets out there, you can respond and let us know. And this week, for our very first show, we're actually giving away, again, two games. So There will be 2 lucky winners for the games and 1 person with a Stadia controller and Chromecast with Google TV. So let's take a look here at some of the responses. Here we got Dustin here. Resident Evil 8. As far as the Chromecast, he would retire his Chromecast Ultra or move it. Elemental Leech saying here, I've got Pro and Ubisoft Plus. I've got more games than I even have time for right now. I can't even think of buying a new game, and that he would give the Chromecast a controller to his brother so that they can play together. See, as we hear saying give it to his nephew. As far as affording a game, talking about Phoenix Point and all of the DLC.
Nice.
Two Bag as well here, Dark Side Detective of Darkwood. I mean, there's a lot. Imran here having fun playing Ease 8 while I had Pro, so I'd love to get Ease 9, which is awesome game. I played that, beat that. I think I spent like 40 hours, and you could spend a lot more in that game. Awesome game and fun. Let's see. I'm just like so many different responses here. Stadia factor.
That is true with Attack on Titan. It's never on special, and it's true. Stadia factor. It's a good point. Maybe they should put it on special more often because it's a very good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So you hear, look, there's Elf Pro Joe talking about what he'd want. So again, we just had a lot of responses here. So what we did is we took all these responses, and basically it closed at 12 o'clock today. So about 6.5 hours ago, Eastern time. And so NinjaGuy X and I took a look at all of these, and we went through everything, and we came up with 2 winners for our very first show. Yeah. Actually 3. Sorry, 3 winners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep. So the first one here that is the lucky recipient of the Chromecast with Google TV and a Stadia controller is KC. And KC says, I think sadly the hardware cost, although cheaper than a console, has me avoid trying it out. Most of my games are on console, hide and seek, Dead by Daylight. So you know what? Now, KC, you are the lucky winner of the Chromecast with Google TV and a controller. Stadia controller. So we will reach out to KC if KC is not watching right now, and we'll get hooked up with that and get that ordered and sent over to you. So now our last bit of business here is going to be with the 2 games. So the first person or one of the winners here is win a game is going to be none other than Mr. 1030. So Mr. 1030, congratulations. Baldur's Gate 3. So Mr. 1030 is looking for Baldur's Gate 3, and now we can make that happen. Again, thanks to Jack and the Stadia community for chipping in on these giveaways here. And so Mr. 1030, if you're watching, I don't know if you're out in the chat. If not, we'll be in touch with you here. We'll also do an announcement tweet as well, tagging everybody so that you're well aware. And then our second winner of a game is...
Oh, for the game, yeah.
Yeah, for the game. There you go. Third winner of the night, second winner of the game. Okay, now, I know that he's told me how to pronounce his name before. Imran, I think is what it is, right? Imran?
He's in the chat, so...
Oh, he's in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, because the way I've got my screen here, I can't really see the chat here. So congratulations. You're going to be playing Ease 9. So a big shout out to everyone that responded. And if you didn't win, don't worry. Like I said, next month, so the beginning of next month, the first Friday, since the show is weekly, it's every Friday. So a month from now, that's Friday, December the 3rd, we'll be giving away at least another game and a Chromecast with Google TV and controller. So be on the lookout. We'll put another tweet out there probably beginning of next week here. similar to that, asking what game are you looking to buy that either can't justify it or afford it, and what would you do with a Chromecast with Google TV and Stadia controller?
Awesome. Congrats, guys.
Yep, congratulations.
We had a lot of response and it was amazing, and looking
Yeah,
forward to what kind of questions we'll be asking next time. So
yeah,
cool.
definitely.
So guys, we are on the last segment of the show. Unfortunately, we wish we could do a 24-hour stream, but
Yeah,
we got stuff to do.
yeah,
So what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna open the chat. We're probably not gonna keep it too long, just because we had a lot of uh, things to talk about today. But we're just gonna go ahead and say thank you to all of you for coming here. We got Crow Resin, got PSX Guy, PyCon Fusion, Marcelli,
yeah,
Imran, Ian,
yeah.
Homie
Homie
Drew,
Drew, yeah, Homie Drew there.
Windstars, Arena,
Winstar.
Expeditor. Uh, so, guys, if you want to talk, just go ahead, give us some comments, and we'll go ahead and talk about if you have any questions, or if you want us to talk about anything that's happening with Stadia lately. What are our thoughts on certain things? Let us know, and that's what this segment will be about.
Yeah.
Think.
Oh, I was gonna say so definitely while we're waiting to see if there's anybody in the chat there that wants to mention anything or talk or give us feedback. Is so this is again going to be our final segment of where we're going to try to develop this more. So if it's something like you would want to come on and be on camera and just talk to us a little bit, we'll have that ability. We're working through things, learning and stuff like that, and you know that'll be something in the future, or we'll have some type of where you could join, maybe call in or through Discord audio. I know MM2K has something where he's able to get people to call in and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk with him and maybe get some tips and tricks, for those that just want to call in on the phone, right? Through, I think it's done through Skype or something like that.
Interesting.
But we'll find out. Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely develop this, and based upon feedback, you know, craft the show towards what
A
everyone
better.
likes here. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got Omi Drew says, "Oh, I know that guy." Francesco, who says, "Congrats, everyone, especially to Imran. I also wrote East 9 as my game of choice." Oh, I see some jealousy. I see some jealousy. Yeah, Imran says, "Awesome first show."
Yep.
Zarina, great show. The time has passed so fast. Great show so
Yeah,
far. Questions to
it's
the
hard.
panel from Christopher Torres. He
Yep.
says, do you think the new upgrade on GeForce Now puts pressure on Stadia or has no effect, since this is not targeted to the casual gamer? So I'll let John start on this one.
Yeah, I've got strong feelings on this. As far as server upgrades and things like that, it's great to have the latest and greatest technology. It's truly is awesome, and believe me, I like that just as much as anybody else. But when you're looking at the overall general public, that really isn't a factor. If you take a look at the sales for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, only 20% of the overall sales were for those Pro or One X machines. The other 80% of their sales come from just the standard hardware. So I think these first couple of years here, and maybe even another 1 or 2 years with Stadia, is they've got to focus on getting those third party games, which they have mentioned that here, you know, back in June and July, and also again in earlier in February, is that they're focusing on getting more developers, making things easier. We saw that at the Google Developer Summit in July, porting, certification, and all that stuff. So I think really now their best time spent could be is focusing on getting more games, and we can see that that's happening. And the server upgrades will come. My thoughts. GeForce Now is an awesome service as well. There's no knocking that. It's great. There's a wide selection of different games and PCs and PC games from different storefronts and all that stuff. But my thoughts really on the new tier with GeForce Now is, if cloud gaming is a niche product or service, this ultra tier or this 3080 tier is even more niche than that. It's really for the hardcore gamer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's great. Like, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it, but if you're looking for the overall product, GeForce Now has been out for many more years than Stadia. So, I really do think that what Google's doing is they're going to focus on getting that third party support. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a surprise and we'll see server upgrades. They did mention that when it happens, they're not going to announce it. You'll just see the difference. So, who knows what happens? Yeah, exactly.
I have literally nothing to say to that because I completely agree with what you just said, John. So I'm going to leave it at that. X-Predator says, when will we see you two dancing together in Just Dance? Maurice versus John Reese. John Reese.
Well, you know what? I'll have to ask my wife and my daughter to see if they have any wigs that we could put on. I mean, you never know.
I'll send one over.
Yeah, you can send one over here. You never know. If enough people want it, we'll make it happen. So let us know, right?
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Imran says, now that this week on Stadia is bi-weekly, this would be a real place to catch up on any news that gets missed, like the features you mentioned found by the community and game sales. Definitely. And we're not just the only one. I think one of the greater show to watch for that is Rock Show. Rock Show is very good to keep up to date with that. Clive has an amazing show on Mondays. I think.
Yeah, Monday nights.
Monday nights. He has an amazing show. There's the No Yes Man that I can think of, which has pretty good information too. Sometimes they take the whole podcast just to to goof around, which is also very entertaining. But these are all the podcasts that are great for news. I don't know if you want to add any other podcasts that you find.
Yeah, I mean, Sunny, the Nerf Report, Jam. There's a whole bunch of great content creators in the community. And again, as we've mentioned before, that's our focus is to highlight people in the community. They're not just content creators, but because we're both doing this for our love and passion of the platform and the community, and not for any type of fame or recognition or anything like that. It's just we do it because we love it, and our satisfaction and enjoyment is seeing others, like we see here in the chat, just interacting with each other and sharing information, talking and making friendships and things like that. So it's totally awesome. I just love it.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna do two more questions if you're okay with that, John. We'll go with the two next question after Imran, and then we'll wrap this up. So no time to game 62 says, great first show, guys. Thank you. Do you see Stadia going anywhere and doing anything for their 2 years birthday? For me, my inner, like I said on Twitter, my inner child would really love to see Stadia doing something for their 2nd year's birthday. I'm gonna say that the community might do something. We have the Stadia Bash SBCN doing a full stream throughout the day. But I think the community has other things planned out. So I know that this community will have some cool stuff. But for Stadia, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, it's hard to tell because they didn't tease us with anything. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be nice, and I think it would be safe to expect some type of celebration or announcement. They did, we did see the mention with This Week on Stadia being every 2 weeks now, but that doesn't mean that there's no other communication in between, because the day after they announced that, we had, other news, and we saw already stuff here. So I think it's relatively safe to say there'll be some type of, like mini announcement, mini celebration. Just kind of keep your expectations in
Yeah.
check here.
Maybe like
It's
a
not going
blog
to,
or something, right?
yeah, yeah, and who knows? So we'll see. We know last year on the 1 year anniversary that Destiny 2 became free to play, available for everybody. It was the first free to play game on the platform that was available to everybody. So who knows? I mean, they know, like again, they're listening. They know here they've got tons of people that are working on things, and it might not always be at the pace that we want or how we like it, but
Yeah.
I think there'll be some type of of announcement or a blog post or things like that. And as you mentioned, SBCN, they're doing like a whole day stream. I know I've signed up for a spot on that
Same.
for 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll be streaming on there to help celebrate. So,
Nice.
and it's just it'll be great. I think that people won't be disappointed in the community. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, I got some opinion on the way Stadia is moving compared to other cloud service, but I'll leave that to maybe next week. I'll
Mhm.
put some more opinions on that. David Robinson is asking us how we're all doing today. I'm doing great. I had a great day. Today was very calm at work, so that's very good on my side.
Yeah, it was a good day for me as well. Today was our first day of frost here in Toronto. I know further west of here and north they've had snow, but for here downtown Toronto, uh, we had our first frost, and then right around lunchtime hit with a power outage, and the estimated time for repair was about an hour after the show was supposed to start. So I was kind of panicking a little bit, and it's like, we might have to delay this and we might have to push it back, maybe start at a different time or day or whatever. But sure enough, about an hour and a half later, something like that, the hydro came back on and all's good. And went out and got the family some. I did a Timmy's run here. Got some donuts and Timbits and coffee and some hockey cards. I tweeted that out as well. And on the way, saw the Stadia truck, which there's a company here in Toronto, Stadia Glass and Door, and totally unrelated. They usually even have a website, stadia.ca. And I remember seeing them a couple of years ago, and I thought, oh, that's kind of weird. Saw a couple of trucks out today and kind of tweeted out that, here in Toronto, not only can we play games on Stadia, but we can get our doors and glass windows fixed by Stadia.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny.
Nice. All
So,
right. That's all the time we had. I'm just going to go quickly through some more message. Windstar, I completely agree with you on that for the hardcore PC gamers. Impro Joke, thanks for coming back. Hi, Dave
mhm,
Winnall,
mhm,
Expeditor with a smiley face. David, we can answer his question maybe next week. Hi,
mhm,
Charles Orend. And
mhm.
PSX guides, there's no way I need to focus on Just Dance 2020 at the moment, so that's not going to happen. All right.
Wow. What a fantastic first episode here. It's hard to believe 2 hours and 20 minutes. Oh my gosh.
It went by fast. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it did go by fast. And again, thank you everybody here in the chat for, spending your time. For those that were able to be here the entire time, maybe those that even were only here for a couple of minutes. We appreciate either way. Thank you so much. Let us know after the after we're off the air here. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you thought about the show. What would you like to see? Would you like to be someone that's interviewed on the
Yeah.
show? Do you have ideas for segment? Do you have an idea to interview people? What changes might you like to see? And of course, if you enjoyed today's content, give us a big thumbs up. Make sure to look at the description as well. We've got the details for myself and NinjaGuy X here, Pierre. Check out his YouTube channel as well. If you haven't already, subscribe. He does. You still do your every weekday morning streams, right? Early morning streams.
Yep, early morning streams. I'm gonna start back this month with my Stadia Shorts videos. This is what I want to focus on, so I can't wait to start that back. I've been on a hiatus for a bit, but these are the two main focus: my morning streams and my Stadia Shorts.
Yeah, definitely. So take care, everybody. Thanks again, and remember, we'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And we love you all. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.